Today is the last day of the month, July 31st na po. And bukas is the first day of the month, August 1st po, Saturday. So I would like to say each and every one of you, magandang araw sa ating lahat, the good day to each and every one of us, ang mga Filipinos dito po sa Malaysia, sa mga overseas Filipino workers, kung nasaan man kayo po sa iba-ibang parte ng mundo, ang mga Filipinos din, na kaibigan, kababayan natin dyan po sa Pilipinas. Huwag na tayo magdigoy-digoy po, no? Always remember that Filipinos are not the dumb people po, no? Ang issue natin ngayon is about ang gun violence sa Pilipinas. Each and every one of us, if not all, if not all po, no? Alam natin po na totoo itong issue na ito na it's a reality sa Pilipinas when we talk about gun violence or hired killers po, no? Hired killers. Unfortunately, nakita natin po, there are some politicians, no? Who pretend. Hypocrites sila po. For me, I believe that they're hypocrites. Hypocrite po. Dahil they themselves knows that totoo ito that this is really happening sa Pilipinas po when we talk about hired killers. When we talk about gun violence sa Pilipinas po. Especially kagaya sa amin po, sa akin, ang generation namin po. We saw life in the 70s. We saw life in the 80s. We saw life in the 90s. We saw life ngayon po, no? Sa 20s, no? And I think, siguro hindi naman lahat po, but karamihan ng mga Filipinos po agree that there is itong gun violence sa Pilipinas po, sa Pilipinas. Whether we like it or not po, this is really happening. Look at the shooting incidents sa Pilipinas po. Be it in Luzon, be it in Visayas, be it in Mindanao po. Mga tandem, mga tandem killers sa motorcycle po, no? Do you think they are not hired killers? Siguro hindi naman lahat po, no? Mayroon dahil sa personal grudges lang yun po, no? But there are also people who hire gunmen to kill their enemies, no? To kill their enemies. Totoo yun po. That is really what is happening. Unfortunately, there are some politicians dyan po sa Pilipinas, sa atin po, no? They are trying to hide, no? That hindi ito totoo. But deep inside them, totoo ito what is happening sa Pilipinas. Ang gun violence po. Why should you, itong mga politicians po, try to hide things, no? Try to hide things and pretend na what they are saying is ang katotohanan. Grabe naman kayo po, no? Grabe naman kayo. Why I am raising this issue now? It is because itong statement made by Vice President Inday Sara Duterte yesterday or the other day po, dyan po sa Diheg, when she mentioned about gun violence sa Pilipinas. Gun violence sa Pilipinas po, no? She was giving an example. It doesn't mean because there are some politicians, kagaya ni Congressman Terry Ridon, si Congressman Adyong, no? When Inday Sara Duterte mentioned about kagaya ako, if I know that my husband is cheating me po, sandali lang niya po, I can hire somebody to kill my husband or to kill ang partner niya po, no? Ang partner niya po. So ano ba ito po? Ano ba ito? Why are we trying to hide things na hindi totoo po? They themselves knows. Si Adyong, Congressman Adyong from Mindanao, he knows what is happening. Si Terry Ridon, he knows what is happening. Maraming mga reported incidents, shooting incidents sa Manila po. Does he really believe na ano ito po? Hindi itong a gun for hire? Hindi naman lahat. I'm not saying every shooting incidents po, gun for hire. Hindi naman po, no? But that is ang katotohanan. That is ang katotohanan po. And now they are trying to say, when Vice President Inday Sara mentioned about the gun for hire or gun violence sa Pilipinas po, si Terry Ridon is saying that mayroon daw killer instinct si Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. Grabe naman po. Congressman, what do you think ang mga Filipinos po, kagaya ako, ang mga Filipinos dito sa Malaysia, do you think we are that stupid to believe na what you are saying? Grabe naman po, hindi ba? Why twist ang statement ni Inday Sara Duterte? Why twist the statement of Inday Sara Duterte po? Mas lalo lang po, the more that you do these things, dyan po sa gobyerno, the more you do these things po, the more we lose trust and confidence sa inyo po. No? So the way how I look at it, more on politically motivated ito to destroy the image of Inday Sara Duterte. So this is the topic that I want to share with you sa programa natin ngayon po, no? And correct me if I'm wrong. Kung mali ako po, but I personally believe na I second to the statement made by Vice President Inday Sara Duterte that there is such thing as hired killer. There is such thing as a gun violence sa Pilipinas po, and it is really happening. It is really happening, and nobody can deny. Instead of twisting ang issue po, why don't these people sa gobyerno, ang mga lawmakers natin po, try to find solutions on how to further protect the security of the Filipinos po, of the Filipinos. Bakit ganyan po? Bakit ganyan kayo? That is the thing that ako mismo po I am wondering. I will read you a story, news article dyan po sa Pilipinas, lumabas na po sa online, ang ABS-CBN, online. Ang heading ng news article ito po is Reality, Not a Clickbait. Sara Duterte defends gun violence remark. Right? Nandito po. Let's watch and listen, or let's listen to this article. Please listen to this article po. Vice President Sara Duterte defended her remark about gun violence that made rounds on social media, arguing that it is a reality faced by Filipinos and should not be reduced to mere clickbait. In a speech before supporters near the International Criminal Court in The Hague on July 29, Duterte justified the implementation of her father, former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte's drug war, and cast doubt on the authenticity of drug war victims because gun violence is so common in the Philippines. Sabi niya po, I have a husband. My husband has a mistress. I can hire a gunman for 5,000 pesos to kill the mistress. This or that is how, for 5,000 pesos, that is how bad gun violence in the Philippines is. And that is, again, yes, EJK, she said. So, how can you say that all your listed victims, all your listed complainants are supposed victims of the drug war? It can be that, or it can be that is a crime against passion. It can be murder because of a third party in a relationship. It can be a plain hold-up, she said. Kasi lahat ng she was referring on the complainants po, dyan po sa EJK, dyan po sa kaso ng, dyan po sa ICC, sa ICC. But the point is po, ang content is dyan po, ang content is dyan po, and the point is, na totoo yan po. Karamihan ng mga Filipinos, if not all, but I'm sure, so many Filipinos succumb or agree with the idea or with the statement made by Vice President Inday Sara Duterte that such gun violence gun hire, gun for hire, and hired killers po is happening dyan po sa Pilipinas. No? I feel very sad po because itong mga politicians who claim that they know a lot of things po. And when it comes to gun violence po, they deny. They deny po. And they put the blame on Inday Sara Duterte. Gun violence is a reality, not just a clickbait. Duterte said in a separate statement issued Thursday, July 30, saying that gun violence in the country has become alarmingly commonplace. I agree. This is not clickbait, nor is it a headline that should be reduced to a passing remark. This is not merely a Duterte and a kill. It reflects the daily reality faced by Filipinos on the street, wondering whether they can go home safely, she said. The second-in-command added that the reports of shootings, killings, and other violent crimes have become so frequent that many Filipinos have grown accustomed to seeing them in news. Totoo yan po. Too many people have become victims of shootings, stabbings, kidnapping, sexual violence, and other crimes that continue to threaten lives and undermine the sense of security every citizen deserves, Duterte said. The reality, according to Duterte, is that Filipinos do not feel safe. The safety of Filipino people must be treated as a national priority, not a mere single line of news item. This is not just about remarks and another news for Sara Duterte. This is about our children and their future, she said. Justice for Filipinos, God save the Philippines, Duterte said. Totoo yan po. I totally agree. I totally agree po, no? Again, I'm wondering why si Congressman Terry Ridon, as well as si Congressman Adyong from Mindanao, no? Twisted itong issue ng gun violence po. But in fact, they themselves knew very well po, alam nila po that there is such thing as, it's a common incident already in the Philippines po, ang killings carried out by hired criminals. Totoo yan po. Now, what they are trying to say is that yung statement now ni Inday Sara Duterte only shows that Inday Sara Duterte mayroon daw siya po criminal instinct. Grabe naman kayo po. Grabe naman na Congressman Terry Ridon, Congressman Adyong, no? Filipinos are not that stupid. I'm sorry to say that word. No, I'm sorry to say that words. Nandito po, let me share with you po ang video clip that I have prepared para sa ating lahat po regarding itong issue. Po. Let's watch and listen to the statement made by Inday Sara Duterte about itong gun violence po when she delivered the speech dyan po sa The Hague. Dyan po sa The Hague. Let's watch and listen to this po.
They cannot even say right now if the victims are truly victims of the drug war. Because gun violence is so common in the Philippines. I have a husband. My husband has a mistress. I can hire a gunman for 5,000 pesos to kill the mistress. That is how, for 5,000 pesos. That is how bad gun violence in the Philippines is. And that is, again, yes, EJK. So how can you say that all your listed victims, all your listed complainants are supposed victims of the drug war? It can be that it is a crime against passion. It can be murder because of a third party in a relationship. It can be plain hood up. So how can they say now that all the victims there are victims of the drug war that is supposed to be a crime against humanity? So that is a crime. And what are they doing right now? This is 1 year past the day President Duterte arrived in The Hague. How many years? 1 year and 4 months. 1 year and 4 months. And nothing has happened in the case. They can.
Alright, yan po, narinig natin si Vice President Inday Sara Duterte on the issue po, no? She is raising that issue po, gun violence, because of the claim of itong victims ng EJK po, dyan po sa case ni Tatay Digong sa International Criminal Court po. Unfortunately po, ang I noticed even sa mainstream media po, parang nag-twist silang issue, and I think that's wrong. I think for me as a journalist also, I think there is something wrong there. There is something wrong there po. And sana lang po, they will correct itong impression that they are trying to show to the readers, to the public po, sa mga Filipinos po. Not only dyan po sa Pilipinas, but also sa mga Filipinos sa iba-ibang parte ng mundo, ang mga overseas Filipino workers as well as mga migrant Filipinos po. Tell the truth. Only tell the truth. Yan lang po what we want to know. Kasi mahirap na po. Marami nang nagtago ang gobyerno. I'm sorry to say this po. But based on the news reports that we have been receiving sa mainstream media po, duda ang mga Filipino ngayon po when it comes to truthfulness, when it comes to telling the truth. See? Yet, the government keep on saying na problema tayo ang fake news. But who is doing the fake news po? Hindi naman siguro, may mga fake news din po, But it doesn't mean na ang gobyerno is the only one who is telling the truth, because we can see, we can see left and right po what is happening sa gobyerno natin dyan po sa Pilipinas. Yon po. So I hope that this thing or this issue will be rectified po, So okay, mayroon pa tayo ibang video clip dito po. And this time around, I want to share with you po, because if you look at it now po, karamihan ng mga Filipinos dyan po sa Pilipinas, many of the Filipinos in the Philippines as well as Filipinos outside the Philippines po, they are now more inclined of looking at the news sa social media or sa Facebook ba po, or this social media platform, rather than sa mainstream media po. Because Filipinos, many Filipinos now, they doubt ang mga reports ng mainstream media. I'm sorry to say this thing po. But I notice, may puntos din po ang mga observations ng mga kapwang Filipino, mga kababayan ko po. Mga kababayan ko po. Medyo bias ang mainstream media dyan po sa Pilipinas. So let me share with you isang video clip po, isang video clip tungkol sa issue din po. And it was posted sa social media. Let's watch and listen to this.
Ngayon naman, pag-usapan natin ang isang pang isyong mabilis na kumalat. Napansin ba ninyo ang mga headline tungkol sa sinabi umano ni VP Sara na 5,000 lang ang halaga para makakuha ng gunman sa Pilipinas? Sa tingin ko ho, maraming headline ang naglabas lamang ng isang bahagi ng kanyang sinabi nang walang sapat na konteksto. Kapag putol ang ipinapakita sa publiko, madaling magkaroon ng maling interpretasyon. Batay sa aking pag-unawa, ang konteksto ng kanyang pahayag ay tungkol sa mga kasong iniuugnay sa anti-drug campaign ng nakaraang administrasyon. Ipinaliwanag niya ang kanyang pananaw na hindi lahat ng kasong ibinibilang bilang mga biktima ng drug war ay may parehong pinagmulan. At may mga insidenteng ayon sa kanya, maaaring may ibang salarin o ibang motibo. Dito niya binanggit ang halimbawa tungkol sa sinasabing mababang halaga upang umupa ng gunman bilang paglalarawan sa posibilidad na may mga krimeng hindi dapat otomatikong iniuugnay sa drug war. Kung yun nga ang buong konteksto ng kanyang sinabi, iba ang dating nito kumpara sa headline lamang na kumalat. Kaya ang tanong, bakit ang isang linya lamang ang paulit-ulit na inilalabas? Bakit hindi ipakita ang buong paliwanag upang ang taong bayan ang husga? Kung ang layunin ay may pabatid ang katotohanan, hindi ba dapat buong konteksto ang ipakita at hindi lamang ang bahaging madaling pagtalunan? Sa aking pananaw, isa ito sa mga dahilan kung bakit patuloy ang bangayan sa politika. Kapag mas pinipili ang maikling headline kaysa sa kumpletong paliwanag, mas madaling mahati ang opinyon ng publiko. At kung totoo man o hindi ang mga hinalang ito, iisa lang ang panawagan ko sa bawat Pilipino. Huwag tayong maging sunod-sunuran sa anumang panig. Huwag nating hayaang headline lamang ang magdikta ng ating paniniwala. Makinig sa buong pahayag. Basahin ang buong dokumento. Suriin ang lahat ng panig. At higit sa lahat, gamitin natin ang ating isip bago tayo humusga. Dahil sa huli, ang pinakamalaking kalaban ng demokrasya ay hindi ang pagkaibang opinyon. Ang tunay na kalaban nito ay ang taong tumitigil ng mag-isip. Kaya ang hamon ko sa inyong lahat, magmasid, magtanong, mag-analisa, at huwag hayaang sino man, kahit sinong politiko, media outlet o personalidad ang mag-isip para sa inyo. Ang
Alright, yan po, narinig natin po.
ng bansa ay
So, I agree, no? Dahan-dahan lang tayo mga Filipinos po, no? Do not be easily persuade ang mga reports, no? Mga stories reported sa mainstream media. I'm not saying every or all the mainstream media po, no? But unfortunately, there are some, several mainstream media dyan po, bias talaga ang reporting nila, no? Ang reporting nila. Let us use our head. No? Let's use our head. When we read this kind of stories, do not immediately believe everything po. Because nakita natin po, sometimes ang istorya po, ang statement ng mga tao, no? Especially those against the Marcos administration po, no? It has been that twisted po. So, be careful when we read stories po. Do not easily be persuaded. Do not believe immediately po. But use our head and try to check. Try to check po in other means. Other means po. For the veracity ng istorya po. Then we make our own judgment, our own conclusion, our own assessment po on that particular issue, kagaya itong issue ng gun violence sa Pilipinas po. Klarong-klaro po, si Vice President Inday Sara Duterte was talking about ang hindi lahat ng mga EJK complainants dyan po, ang mga namatay po, hindi yun lahat po ay EJK, no? Because obviously, nakita natin po sa Pilipinas, ang gun violence is a commonplace sa Pilipinas po. And totoo naman yun po. No? Hindi lahat ng mga kaso ngayon. At first, during the early stage of the case of Tatay Adigong, they said, 30,000 EJK victims. Then it went down. Hanggang ngayon po, it's less than 100 EJK complainants, no? Complainants po. So, be careful. Careful lang tayo po when it comes to this issue. Finally, mayroon pa tayo dito isang video clip that I want to share with you. And this time around po, maganda din mga issues. Yun ng interview ang SMNI kay isang political analyst, no? Si Professor Malu Tikia. And I think it's worthwhile sharing itong video clip ni Professor Malu Tikia. She was talking about this recently concluded SONA ni President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos, and she was interviewed by SMNI. Nandito po, let me share with you itong video clip.
Na maabot na yata sa trilyong piso, yun pa yung wala pang nakulong at hindi mabilis. Doon naman sa private, yung donor, na hindi naman pera ng taong bayan, abay mas nauna pang nakulong, Prof.
Tama yan, no? At binanggit niya sa kanyang SONA na medyo contradictory rin, no? Then sa paglaban sa accountability, sinabi niya 250 billion ang nabawi na. Pero ang nabalik sa Treasury, 800 million. So 4% lang yun. Ano nangyari dun sa iba? Kasi ang sabi niya dyan, ang claim niya sa SONA niya, sinisigurado ko sa inyo na ang maibabalik na pera, ang mababawing pera ay gagamitin ng gobyerno. Kung yun pa lamang, 250 billion pa lang ang nababawi at 800 million lamang ang nabalik sa Treasury, anong ibig sabihin nun? Napaka-bagal at hindi mo maintindihan itong anti-corruption campaign niya.
Opo, correct lang, Prof, no? Kasi dito sa script sabi niya rito, halos 25 bilyong piso ang halaga ng nabawi, frozen, at napreserbang mga pera at ari-arian ng mga akusado. Ang mahigit 800 milyong piso dito ay agad nating naibalik sa Treasury. So, hindi siya 250 parang 25 billion, pero doon sa 25 billion, 800 lang yung agad. Bakit hindi agad yung iba, Prof?
Oo. Yun nga ang tanong eh. So, kung may nabawi ka, isa pa rin babantayan ng taong bayan. Yung nabawi ba na i-deposito na sa Treasury? O nandyan lang pakalat-kalat at may ibang nang nagkaka-interest?
Opo. Dito naman po sa survey po ninyo sa Publicus Asia na mga primary concern talaga ng ating mga kababayan, tumutugma ba doon sa pagtugon na nabanggit sa SONA ng Pangulo?
Alam mo, Admar, yung personal na issue ng respondent, corruption 30%. Ang ekonomiya more or less around 15 to 18%. Yun yung individual. Pero pag naging household, lumalabas rin ang corruption mahalaga at saka ang recovery ng Philippine economy. Makikita natin doon walang klaradong economic plan kasi nagpo-function pa rin tayo sa COVID level eh. Ilang taon na nakaraan ang COVID pero hindi tayo nakakaangat. Biglang dumating ang gera sa Iran, medyo lumakda tayo, nagkaroon ng isang plano pero hindi naman immediate na nagawa yung mga dapat magawa. Ngayon sinasabi aalsin yung sa Meralco na
Systems loss.
Systems loss. Tapos sinasabi yung
Amyenda ng IPIRA.
income tax, yung EPIRA, etc. Nagkaroon sila ng anong tinatawag doon? Yung
Uplift.
uplift. Meron silang uplift. Pero kung titingnan mo yung unang element ng uplift, it took them 4 months to 5 months. Yan yung VAT sa LPG. No? Walang ginawa sa excise tax para mumura ang presyo ng gasolina. Hindi nagkaroon ng freeze para sa mga basic commodities, no? So, ang makikita mo, it's one thing to claim na ito ang mga resibo sa nagawa ko, and it's another thing to really ask Juan de la Cruz, naramdaman niyo ba? No, so kung babalasahin mo, titingnan mo yung mahaba. I think this is the longest SONA he has made. Maraming datos, kaya nga ang sabi ko, kailangan ma-fact check para natin maintindihan, lalo-lalo na sa aspeto ng edukasyon, no? May mga claims sa edukasyon na pag tinanong mo sa mga guro, sinasabi nila wala naman sila natatanggap. Meron rin diyang claim tungkol dun sa ating disaster preparedness na may hub and spoke at marami ng lugar na pwedeng pangsagip sa mga tao pag nagbabaha. Pero yun, kailangan natin tingnan. Kasi ang tanong ko, bakit ngayon nyo lang yan sinasabi? Dapat sinabi yan ng spokesperson mo para naiintindihan ng tao na may nagawa naman pala, ito yung nagawa. Ang problema, yung spokesperson kasi ginamit parang attack dog, parang pagsisi at i-blame ang mga Duterte. Kaya may problema tayo dun sa trust at saka sa approval eh. Ang approval ng presidente sumasadsad, ang approval ng kabinete sumasadsad, ang trust ng presidente talagang pababa, no? So makikita natin na dyan sa SONA, marami siyang resibong binigay at kailangan tingnan natin kung totoo.
Alright, yun po ang obserbasyon ni Professor Malu Tikia tungkol sa SONA ni President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos sa last Monday po, no? Last Monday. So yun ang issues natin ngayon sa araw na ito, July 31st, the last day of the month of July. And of course, significant ang araw na ito po dahil we are celebrating the feast of Saint Ignatius. So, patron saint yun po ng Ateneo, no? O mga Ateneans po, mga eskwelahan dyan po sa Pilipinas, Ateneo de Manila, Ateneo de Davao, Ateneo o kung saan pa, Ateneo de Zamboanga po, all the Ateneans I would like to greet. Happy fiesta, happy fiesta sa inyong lahat po. And of course, special greetings din po, happy fiesta greetings to mga residente, mga residente dyan po sa Zamboanga City, sa Barangay Tetuan, no? Sa Barangay Tetuan who are also celebrating their fiesta today po. Happy fiesta to all of you dyan po sa Tetuan, na Barangay Tetuan. And those barangays sa iba-ibang parte ng Pilipinas who is also celebrating their fiesta today. Fiesta today po. So siguro hanggang dito na lang muna ang programa natin, Nick Talk Daria Talk with Nico. As what I said, sana lang po, let us not forget ang malaking problema natin, and we are looking for to hear updates regarding ang what is happening sa flood control projects natin po, which we lost trillions of money po, no? Mabigat yun para sa mga taxpayers money, mga Filipinos po, dahil itong pera, taxpayers money po, it came from our sweat, especially that includes also ang mga overseas Filipino workers po. Nahirapan kami dito sa labas, and our remittances, regular remittances sa Pilipinas po is really helping sa economy ng gobyerno. Kaya nga, we want to know, hindi lang mga overseas Filipino workers, but lahat mga Filipinos po, dyan sa Pilipinas, karamihan. Wag naman tayo sabihin lahat, kasi mayroon din mga Filipinos na they are less bothered about the flood control projects po, no? Unfortunate para sa kanila, but we really want to know and see those who are involved in this flood control projects and other corruption dealing sa dyan po sa Pilipinas will be put behind bars as soon as possible, and whatever money they stole from us po must be returned to the treasury ng Pilipinas po. Alright? So with this, once again, si Nico Fabian would like to say, ingat lang tayo po, no? And we hope that the month of August, which we are going to start sa Sabado or tomorrow po, will be a month for all the Filipinos. It will be a month, a problem-free month, memorable and fruitful month sa Pilipinas po. So with this, thank you very much for making me a part of your day. And I'll see you in my next episode. Ingat kayo po. And enjoy ang weekend natin bukas and on Sunday. Hidop Malaysia, Sababole, mabuhay ang Pilipinas. God bless the world. I'll see you in my next episode. Bye. You take care and I love you all.